Okay, so I think it was time that I actually did a proper video kind of about these VTuber avatar kind of things. To start with, this is nearly the final version of this one. It has physics now on the hair. Still needs a little bit of tweaking, but it moves. We have series of expressions. Raising an eyebrow is this one. It's a bit hard because he's got quite a messy bangs. Tongue out at the side. Smile. He's angry. He's a bit sad. He's pouty. This one's a bit difficult to show, but if I can get the eyes to look the right way, you should see that I can make the eyes dilate. And then scared kind of face as well. But yeah, well, it automatically detects when I'm happy or angry, or it seems to anyway. So the program I use is VC Face, and the avatars that I make are primarily for VC Face, but they do work for other VRM software because I export into VRM plus the VC Face VRM. Right, so we will go to here. So in my last blog entry, I mentioned this particular rework model, which the one that I'm using is a hybrid version of this model. So when I say hybrid, I mean I made the original mesh from scratch here as the Maru base, and then added the humanoid features to the face, because yeah, they might look like they've got a human face, but they have certain anatomy that's not normal on a human, like the types of ears are supposed to be more feline-like, whereas on my hybrid model, his ears are meant to be a bit more human. The nose as well, it's hard to show, but the nose on a human one is more curved, whereas eventually I'm going to get to better sculpting on this, but with these guys it's more flat, a bit like an actual cat's nose. So yeah, these guys are fully rigged, we already know the drill. Things can move all sorts of directions. The topology is far better than it used to be. Things move cleaner and look nicer. They are more cartoony as well, but we still have some like sticky lips here. We still have some elements that need a little bit of work, not much though. But yeah, these look more like my concept art now, which is a huge bonus, because before, we'll get to that in a minute, actually I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to show off some of the new rig features. So with the feet, for example, we can now spread the toes, clump them together, and we can also use IK on them so they can bend better the feet. Everything else is about the same, you know, IK on the arms, and tail has some physics to it, so well, not physics, but the way that it moves. Like this, we can swing it around and curl, really curl it. Do all sorts. But yeah, other than that, the models also have a benefit of using shaders now. So yeah, this guy is using a texture, but me select the fur. It's actually a white texture, so that means I can make this guy a grey fur tabby, a slightly sandy tabby, or if I really wanted to go nuts, it can be blue. But yeah, so they use a shader now to get the colour, and the same applies for the hair and the mane. So with this guy again, maybe he's a blondie. I mean, the hair here is temporary, so that's why it's using a different shader to the rest of the body. But if you notice, the tail tip changed, the back of the fur here changed, these bits changed. Everything that is attached to the body will change with this shader. So yeah, maybe he's going a bit grey. We'll lean a bit more into the blue. Dial it down so now he's gone a bit grey. Or let's go wacky again. Let's go with the blue, full on blue. So yeah, it means that I can make so many variants without having to make brand new textures. It's actually pretty fun. But skin is separate as well, so as we can see, the paw pads didn't get affected. That's because I have a skin tone shader as well. So again, we're going with the wacky colours here. The extremities. We'll give him orange skin, so his paw pads and the feet are going to be hard to see because this plane is in the way. So the feet, the toe pads are all orange, and his face will be orange as well because that's how it works. It's all to do with the skin. And then we also have a separate shader for the nose, so his nose can be black, and we can have where is it? The claws. The claws are also using a separate shader. So they're kind of whitish grey at the moment. We'll make them bright red, because why not? But yeah, as you can see, he's completely changed. The eyes also have their own shader. So if we go with here. Now these are based on the Tiny Iris Blender plugin, but I made some modifications for my own use, so they work outside of Blender now, whereas before they only worked in Blender. So yeah, that's all to do with shaders. Fun times with shaders. But because there are variants, breeds of this creature. Some of these are using sharing the same shader, and they shouldn't be yet. But oh well, easy fix. The models have to have variants, and that means I have to do skins for each one. Some of these need a lot more work, like the leopard spots on the arms need to be fixed because it's got some serious stretching. There's a little bit going on with this tail because I needed to make a longer tail for this guy. And some of the tiger striping needs a bit of work as well on this one because it's a little bit too blurry in some parts, like on the arms. But yeah, so we have variants, but again, doesn't matter if they're tiger stripes or whatever, we can change the color with a shader, make them more orange, green, go full whack with it. But yeah, if these guys do get variants within each breed, it's usually a subtle change, so I might end up doing another type of method for shading these guys, but for now they'll do as they are. They all have lovely red nail polish on. So yeah, that's the base mesh. We're not going to save, so we'll open the old version of the model that I am using for my avatar. So I actually have the new version in the same file. Let me get him level here. Now some of the textures are missing because I migrated all my files, so it doesn't matter really, I suppose. Just have to deal with him having pink nail polish on this, but he doesn't really have that, so clear all the transform on this. So original concept art is here, and as you can see in my artwork, I drew characters with very big eyes. Didn't matter about the rest of the proportions, I usually always drew really large eyes. This is a costume variant of the character, which I will now need to remake because it is using the out-of-date base mesh. So hopefully I might be able to get away with the coat and the mask and stuff, but the tail, the legs and the hands will all need to be replaced. And if you're wondering why it looks like this, it's because it uses physics. But it's not working. And then I got a Mixamo animation here to test the rigging on the models in here because Mixamo doesn't allow non-humanoids. So yeah, this is the old model on the right. If I do this, we can see the changes right away. The feet on the old one had toes that rose too high. They also had a serious issue with the spacing between the toes. If you can see here, let me get into this mode. As you can see, we don't have much space between the toe here, so if I did make the toe split, it would just look like they have webbed feet. The claws were also oversized. In general, it was just a bad mesh. Now these, as you can see, they look more snug, but they have more gap all the way up here, which allowed me to do the toe spread. Claws aren't stupidly tall, and the feet, as a consequence, aren't stupidly tall and have this progressive slope up, rather than this harsh bend. Because, as it said in the blog, we have grafted pretty much. All the foot here was sculpted, and then we used a boolean to merge it to the mesh, and it made a right mess of it. So that's one of the reasons why I was like, nah, I'm redoing this from scratch. Now the fur on this might look a bit strange because it's using hair curves, and they can't be used outside of Blender. So that's why when I did do an avatar of this model and tried to use it in VC Face, it was really, really high poly and it barely loaded in the program. And it didn't look very good either because when we put this on, it kind of looks a bit scrappy. Hair curves have great benefits, great uses, but then I prefer this much cleaner look of sculpting the mesh. So let's talk about the topology. Now, topology on this mesh isn't very good. It's low poly though compared to the other one, but it's not clean, and it has all sorts of problems, especially here in the facial regions. So parts where the mouth are and intersecting with the nose, for example, don't look good at all. This has the old mouth mesh as well, which was terrible. The eyes as well didn't have enough loops for a clean eyelid area. Overall, it wasn't bad, but it is bad now for me. So yeah, this was we should be able to put up. Where's the viewport information? We want this. We want statistics. So this guy that I've selected is 19,825 triangles. I mean, they're not all triangles, but that's, you know, how much it calculates. With a total face count of 10,016. This guy is significantly higher, but is a lot cleaner. He has 16,689 faces, or 33,268 triangles. And the mane and hair are quite high as well. So even though this is high poly compared to this model here, this one is cleaner. And when I exported it for use in my VRM programs, it actually loaded better. And I'm not entirely sure why. I think it might have just been because the topology is so much cleaner than this thing here. And when I tried to convert all of these hair curves into geometry, it just made a right mess and added thousands upon thousands of new polygons, which this model doesn't have now, because if you notice, there's no fur here. There's only a little bit of fur on the forearm that I decided to put in because it didn't need all of this. The fur on the butt isn't really needed because, again, when he's wearing clothes, at least, you don't see that. And when I do have him without clothes, he probably won't have much at all there. I might just put a few tufts on. The mane as well, it doesn't need to be as big, so that's why it looks like this now, rather than like that one, where it's bushy and scraggly. So yeah, that's this I think little video wrapped up. If you like the VRM kind of avatar stuff that I'm doing and you want one, please feel free to drop me a message through the website, which isn't the one down below. It's I should really put a new one down. But yeah, it's allmeshed.square.site. Then you can use the 3D surface, the 3D services page to request a 3D model and just say VRM avatar, and we can work out a commission price and quotation and stuff. So yeah, if you'd rather get some other 3D model stuff, I have 3D prints up, remember? So you can download 3D models to print, or you can request me to print them and send you them. You know, we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.